back into our workbook here. Oh, and we looked at how to use and or, but we didn't quite fill this out. If one feature needs to meet two criteria under two different attributes, use and then when you want to include multiple features with more than one character state at one field, or features with one character state at one field and a different character state for another attribute, use or. All right. This is a good way to kind of check yourself. Which of these expressions will select at least a few road segments, and what road segments will it select? So let's take a look at these and give you a minute to think about it. This first one, let me enlarge this just a little bit. Okay, this first one, we're looking at road segments, new selection, where the surface is unimproved and the surface is gravel or stone surfaced, or where the surface is equal to unimproved, or through lanes is equal to 1. Okay, so correct answer is this is not going to select anything for you because you're asking for one road, one feature, where the surface is both unimproved and is gravel or stone. So you can't be both at the same time, so that's not going to get you anything. So what are we going to get over here? We're going to get road segments where the surface is unimproved, or the through lanes are just 1. So you're going to get all roads, regardless of width, that have an unimproved surface, and all roads that have just 1 lane. So little tiny roads and unimproved roads. So that or is going to give you both of those. You could choose to ask, for unimproved surface and through lanes that are just 1. So that would be an option, and that would also give you something. But that would probably give you fewer selections than a surface being unimproved or the through lanes being just 1. All right. So we also talked about cyan being that bright greenish blue color. That's our default selection color in ArcMap. And something to note, when you're getting ready for your layout, so there's a nice depiction of cyan there. When you're getting ready to output your layout, you have your map on a layout and export it. Cyan shouldn't show up anywhere in the final layout. You should clear all your selections before you output your map. Okay? Clear all your selections before you output your map. And like I showed you, that's the anti-Idaho button, or the clear selections button. I love Idaho. I don't want you to think I have anything against it. One of my favorite states. Okay, so this is showing the results of select by attribute where the surface is unimproved and it's not a primitive road. So, okay. What's next? So now we're going to go from selecting by attribute to selecting by location. And so let's kind of do it a little bit and then we'll write about it. So in this one, we're looking at road segments that are within county parks. We might do that one. I just want to take just a quick second. It's been a couple days since I wrote this up, and I want to make sure that I lead you through the demonstration so that you complete the tasks I'm asking for here at the end. Okay, so we are supposed to select streams within 100 feet of narrow roads with an unimproved surface. I'm going to write that down to make sure I get you guys there so that you can screenshot it. So let's see. We're going to select streams streams selected within 100 feet and 100 feet of 14-foot or less roads with unimproved surface. Okay, so I'm going to lead you guys through that, which is going to include a select by attribute and a select by location. That'll be super fun. Okay, so back to the map. We've got a job to do. Let me get ourselves to our correct spot in our PDF here. Oh, page up. All right, so select by location is what we're working on now. So here's our map, and let's go ahead and add our streams layer to it. So if I go to my catalog, streams, rivers, That's what we're looking for in the county. Did I get them added? Okay, and I'm just gonna take a moment and give them a nice, actually, let's go into the gallery and choose STREAM. All right. I'm going to use this one because that one is really close to cyan. And I'm going to turn off my topographic map in the background just so I can kind of see things a little bit better. Maybe even the hillshade. I don't really need a base map for this. I can put a base map in at the end. All right, so next step here is, let's see. We're going to look for streams. Well, first off, they're going to be streams within 100 feet of a road that has these characteristics. So let's practice with our select by attributes. And we're going to input our road segments. And we're looking for road segments that have an unimproved surface and are less than 14 feet wide. So road surface is equal to unimproved. And then we're going to add a clause, and the road width, and we're going to do the whole cross-sectional width there. And the road width is less than, is less than, boom, 14 feet. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit OK for that one. All right, so now we've identified our roads here. I'm going to turn the culverts off because they're kind of in the way. We've identified our road segments that meet those criteria. Now we're going to play around with select by location. So we want to look for all streams within 100 feet of those. So we're going to do select by location. And I'm going to input, I'm going to select rivers that are within a distance of the selecting feature, which is going to be our road segments. And so it's because I wrote about this, but I hadn't told you yet. When you make a selection, Pro is only going to look at, it will operate as if that's the only thing that's in that layer right now. So, and it gives you a warning. It'll say the input has a selection. Yeah, basically it means that road segments have a selection, and so it's only going to work with 38 of those. Okay, so it's going to look for rivers that are within a distance of the road segments, and that search distance, what did I say, 100 feet? So US survey feet is fine for this, and 100. And so you could kind of see what I'm getting at, right? So we're actually looking for like river segments that might be vulnerable to erosion from the roads. Oftentimes roads that have a surface that's unimproved are going to be like, you get less runoff from a road that's paved. But you've got a road that's like a dirt road, you're more likely to have runoff. In particular, if it's a narrow track, it's more likely to be poorly maintained and whatnot. So that's what we're looking for. I'm going to hit OK here. And what did I get? Let's open up my attribute table to see. Oh gosh, we only have one. Let's see if we can find it on here. I'm going to turn my road segments off so they're not in the way. They're still there. We only have one. Oh, look at this. All the way out here by Turnbull, we've got one segment of a creek, a river, that is within 100 feet of a very narrow road with an unimproved surface. So that puppy is going to be more vulnerable to, that stream is going to be more vulnerable to erosion. And here we actually don't even have a name for it. It's, at least in this database, it's unnamed. That was kind of a lot in one big demonstration step, but what you'd need for task one in the workbook is to take a screenshot of that. You can add the map back. It'll give us a little bit of context. Yeah, it's running just out of Turnbull, and we can see the road segments here, and we can see that it's that road segment, that little unimproved road, or that unimproved surface road, that's you know, what fed into the potential for erosion in this small creek. All right, so that's something. What else did I want to show you? So this one, in this demonstration here, so go ahead and take a screenshot of that. I know in the other demonstrations I haven't told you, hey, stop here and take your screenshot, but I just want to make sure you get that, because unlike a lot of the other things we do, selecting things is ephemeral. So, you know, you don't need to have the road segments on if you don't want to, but I just want to see that you were able to grab that segment. And then we're going to clear it because we're going to do something else. And so that's why I wanted to pause, go ahead and take your screenshot, and we're going to get on to other stuff. So I wanted to make sure, let's go ahead and replicate the selection that I talked about here in the PDF, or that I depicted here in the PDF. Let's go ahead and select road segments that are within county parks. So to do that, we're going to need to add the county parks to our map. Our map is getting more and more interesting, isn't it? So parks and boundaries, and we're going to use the county parks. All right, and now I'm not big into opaque symbols, so let's make these guys either, well, let's take the time, and I don't know that I've showed you how to make things transparent. Let's make them a nice green, and then let's make them transparent. So I don't want an outline. We're going to make them a nice deep green. But the next thing we're going to do is I'm clicked on this layer here, and I can go to the feature layer tab here. Once I've clicked on the layer and go up here to the feature layer, and I can make them transparent. Let's make them like, I don't know, it's 50% transparent. See how that looks at the, okay, I can see some things behind them. Let's turn on the World Hill Shade. All right, maybe I'll make them a little bit more transparent actually, because I think we could still see that they're county parks. Yeah, 63 to 70. So you choose yourself somewhere in there. But I can still see the county parks, but I can also see everything that's behind them. So I like that. Okay, so back to where we were. Map tab selection. We're going to select by location. We're going to select the road segments. And this is what I wanted to come back here so we could take a look at this relationship option. So know that the first thing you input, this is the one that you want something in this layer to show up in cyan. Okay, so I want my roads to show up as selected in cyan. And then I could choose multiple features to be selected from, but I'm going to just choose road segments here. And then I'm going to choose ones. Intersect 3D. We're not working with 3 dimensions in this class. We're straight up flat map making. Within a distance, geodesic distance is going to be measured in degrees around the globe rather than measured on a projected surface. We're just going to use plain within a distance when we want to use it. Contains, so road segments that contain something else, that completely contain the entirety of something else. We're not going to use Clementini here, that are within, so that's what we're looking for. Road segments that are within county parks. So it's going to pull up all road segments that are within a county park. Now they don't have to be entirely within, they could just be partially within, and that's fine. So you see completely within or just within. All right, then you could say, oh, just a boundary touch. Do they share a line segment? Are they crossed by the outline of something? Or do they have their center, all their mass within? But we're just going to use within. County parks, and then we hit OK. And let's see what we get. Oh, so we have a few road segments that are within county parks. Let's look at the attribute table to see exactly. So we'll look at our road segments. And it looks like I have 6 road segments that are within county parks. So I'm going to go ahead and close this, and then we can see them on the map in cyan. Let's look at this little puppy here. So that's within Haines Estate Conservation Area. We've got some roads within there. Where else do we see cyan? We've got something just off Country Homes Boulevard. Little segment of road. I'm not even sure what the Holmberg Conservation Area. All right. So apparently it's shifted just enough to be within. Yeah, it's just across the street there. All right, so that's how that works. used within a distance because we got the, okay, so we used within a distance. You guys got to practice with that. Next piece is going to be how to use your mouse to select features, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut this one off so that we don't get too long of a video, and I'll pull that up in the next video recording.